Good morning, everybody. I want to say welcome to Blockchain Banter, but this is kind of more of like an official Bancor governor live stream, and I'm excited about this one because you guys just did something absolutely fantastic. I believe it was a first of its kind. I can't confirm that, but I haven't found anything to, prove that wrong. And that was a strategy airdrop. We're going to get into that in just a minute, along with what Governor has planned and what's upcoming here. But first, I would love for you guys to introduce yourselves. Ben is the project lead at Governor. Ben, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about Governor, and then we'll kind of pass it to Glenn and dive in.
Yeah, thanks, Jen. Thanks for having me back. I love being here with the Bancor crew. It's always good to come back. Yeah, TLDR on me, traditional finance background. Before that, kind of quantum physics, long time kind of technologist. Rabbit hole into crypto 2013. Been in crypto space, left TradFi in 2017. Governor's the fourth project that I've been involved in. Previous project, Attestant, we sold to Bitwise with $4 billion worth of ETH staked. So big shout out to the Bitwise team there. They're kind of massively into their decentralization and really kind of loving that ethos. And Governor really kind of builds on that same ethos. See, wearing my Bitcoin orange polo today, and in DeFi we have to kind of embrace decentralization, embrace everything that exists in this space in terms of why permissionless control is important. That's why we're building Governor. That's why we're using and partnering so closely with Bancor, because we believe it's the best tool in the DEX environment to date, and obviously have been leading the way in terms of the DEX infrastructure from those very early days, 2015, 16, 17, when things kind of started creeping out, the AMM first kind of initiated. So yeah, we did the airdrop, the strategy drop last week. And now your top 250 users should have a little bit of Governor. They're part of the Governor community. So yeah, thrilled to be here and talk about that, and we can get into what we've got next after Glenn says a few words.
Thank you so much, Ben. Glenn, go ahead. You wanna take over? Take it from here.
Perfect. Of course, I'll go next. Jen, thanks for having me as well. Ben, great to be here with you also. And yeah, just a bit about me. Computer science background, been experimenting in DeFi since 2020. It's also the year which I found Bancor, which has been building DEXs since 2017 on mainnet Ethereum. So yeah, joined the community, became a contributor in early 2022. And then I would say most of our time and focus now, it's on Carbon DeFi, which is our on-chain trading protocol, live on mainnet Ethereum in 2023, April. And then since then, it's been taken to other EVM-compatible blockchains. So Ethereum, Celos, AV2, Coti, and then most recently TAC as well. And obviously looking to grow that user base and take it to as many chains as possible. So this is essentially our main focus right now, which is Carbon DeFi, but we also have something else on the other side, which is the Fastlane, which is our on-chain arbitrage framework too. So yeah, always building cool things, and great to be here. Successful Governor strategy drop performed last week. Great to see that. I think it's the first of its kind, and hopefully we get to see a lot more of those too.
Okay, so let's talk about this, because strategy drop, right, or strategy airdrop. How is this so different, right? I think our users know, especially because 250 of them woke up to this in their wallet, right? But tell us about what the strategy drop is and what led you guys to kind of do this as differently as you did from just the traditional sort of airdrop that we've known.
Yeah, I can say a few things.
Go ahead, Ben.
I'll say a few things real quick, right? So traditionally, airdrops, right? These are tokens that are given to your most loyal community members for performing certain actions in your protocol, right? So a lot of these things, they start off as points, and then points eventually become a token in the future, right? And at the end of the day, like people, they get a token, right? They don't know what to do with it. There might not be much to do with it besides maybe like staking it for governance in the protocol, right? To get some sort of governance power in that protocol, so they can vote on certain things. And there might be other opportunities too, depending on, I guess, on the token itself, right? But the thing about Carbon DeFi that you can do is you can create a trading strategy, right? These can be single funded with just the governance token, or you can actually double fund it with the governance token plus some other asset, right? Some other token, right? And when you do this, you can create a trading strategy, right? And this type of trading strategy is essentially putting those tokens into productive use, right? They can be used to potentially help support liquidity for that project, right? People can either use that liquidity to buy into or sell into, right? And at the same time, you're also, I guess, distributing, in this case, to like the top 250 active users. So these individuals are also getting exposure to your project. Obviously, they already use Carbon DeFi. They are now exposed to having this strategy with your token in it, and they can potentially do more with it, right? They can edit that strategy. They can add more funding, withdraw funding, switch the prices that they're buying and selling or quoting at, right? So there's a lot of things that they can do. But ultimately, I think this is a much better way to do an airdrop than just giving out a token, because the liquidity here is actually it's on chain. It can be used by aggregators, by anyone else that's trading on chain, and obviously this is to the benefit of the project itself.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's so many different kind of golden kind of phrases in there, Glenn, that you've just used that, as a project lead, we care about. So, working through this journey that we've had with Governor, we've encountered all sorts of different kind of challenges and projects and problems and positioning, etc. And the whole airdrop meta is actually quite difficult from a project perspective, because you definitely want people to get engaged. You definitely want people to be able to find your project. The challenge is that the airdrop meta is actually quite negative for the project in terms of a challenge in terms of then seeing that project do well in the eyes of the community, because people assume for various reasons that if the project is doing well, then the token value is obviously often associated, increases in that token value is associated with a project doing well. And when you do airdrops, there's an awful lot of very difficult behavior that happens, that people take tokens and airdrop farm and then just dump those tokens, which puts a lot of kind of difficult sell pressure into the market. And what we found is when we were working with various different other platforms to try and raise awareness about Governor, it's like we ended up with quite a lot of bot activity in terms of the engagement through various different positions. That's why we were looking to work with people like Anima, that had the kind of the various positions and the Sybil resistance positions, because they were actual real human beings and less bots. And also, the thing that really attracted us with the strategy that we were talking about and subsequently implemented with Bancor was that with the strategy drops that we could achieve, we could effectively do an awful lot of that heavy lifting in terms of what does the project want. It wants deeper liquidity, so we'll go off and we'll do that. And then we can do the strategy drop and airdrop these strategies to these top 250 users who arguably are the most gigabrain users out there. So you go from one end of the spectrum being massively bot heavy airdrop farm campaigns to the other end of the spectrum which is really sophisticated DeFi users that understand high-level mathematical challenges and things like the frameworks that exist in the DeFi space. And Bancor Carbon is arguably one of the most complex and therefore the most valuable DEXs that exist. And therefore, you're really only getting your DeFi Jedis in that top 250 list. And now, because we've done this, we can say that those DeFi Jedis are now also kind of governors. And when they get this airdrop, we've seen they're not all just selling them. They're using them. They're letting their strategy run. Happy days. The outcome is very different from the outcome that you would get from a normal kind of airdrop strategy, where you would expect an awful lot of sell pressure in terms of that liquidity once that kind of that comes through. So not only is the project gaining project liquidity, it's getting access to the top most brightest individuals in DeFi, and also we're able now to really kind of join communities up in a way that we just couldn't convert that through other types of utilization strategies. And of course, it's great for the Bancor team as well, because the Bancor team start to capture all this liquidity, that trading volume, that mind share, the positions in terms of the different, obviously, strategies that are going to be created in addition to this with different tokens. That ecosystem starts to grow. You start to get exponential growth patterns on that.
We just had a comment here, so I thought that was great. Hi, Father Christmas. Thank you for joining us. Ben, it is so true. A few things I wanted to touch on that you said, and I know you're sharing your screen here, so we can kind of go through and at least let users know where they can, or viewers know where they can go and read about this a little bit. It really does capture a lot of that for Bancor. I can see that also. And even just working so closely with the community, it's kind of just different. It's like a DEX that you're using to get what you want out of your trades, right? Like to be able to do these things, and then you get this airdrop for being on the DEX. It's not for farming a specific project, right? It's for just using a protocol, like the protocol the way that it was meant to. You really aren't farming it at all, because you're participating and doing what it is that you're there to do, right? And that's trade or provide liquidity or something of that sort. And so it's nice to be able to kind of do that as community. And this is something, like, as users, this is something that has been expressed to me, where they're like, I've never just used the protocol. You hear about a specific project doing an airdrop, you know what I mean? But like for this, you can interact with all of these different projects and their tokens 100%. And then be exposed to so many more. So this is something that I heard from community, from users who were actually included in the strategy drop. So I kind of just wanted to highlight that as well. They are enjoying having this sort of exposure now, and they don't have to do anything special. They're just there and using it.
Nobody in the Bancor kind of Carbon DeFi user list was expecting this, right? There was no specific task that was given to them to say, you must go and use Governor and do XYZ type of activity. The only thing they had to do was be smart enough to engage in Carbon in the first place, recognize the tools and the power that brought to them, and be real. And being real to us means so much. Being smart to us means so much. Because when they get Governor, they're going to say, well, what the hell is this token? Instantly you go, what the hell is this ridiculous thing that's airdropped into my wallet? Which other scam token has been airdropped to me now? And because we've done it through the Bancor strategy rather than just airdropping directly, it means that these smart people, these uber smart people, these Jedis are going to look at Governor and go, okay, well, that's one, it's real because it's on Bancor and I understand Bancor because I've been using it. Two, let's do a TLDR on what that means. And they'll look at the tokenomics and they go, huh, there's only 20 million of these. And it's massively deflationary and it's vested in 18 months. And, you know,
I saw this on X, by the way.
Yeah.
There was somebody who posted that they were included in the strategy drop, and then suddenly they were talking about your tokenomics and everything else. They really were like this. They started looking into this. And by the way, that user didn't think it was a scam. Somebody had reached out to me and said, excuse me, Missy, did you airdrop me a strategy? They thought it was me. They didn't think it was a scam at all. They were just like, there's a new strategy in my wallet. Like, what do I have going on here?
Yep.
Let's.
Very cool. I mean, more projects take this approach in terms of the airdrop positioning, because airdrop farming is just really bad for our industry. It's really bad for our industry. And the people that need rewarding in this space are the people that are doing the hard work and supporting other different projects. And we need to work together rather than being pulled apart and challenged.
I think we realized that airdrops might be bad for the industry. And then that's why we started going to points, was to prolong the airdrop maybe. But now we just got farming on top of farming and stuff in different ways. And so it's an interesting thing that we have going on. But the strategy drop, I think, is just genius. I think it's fantastic.
We're really excited.
Do you want to, yeah. Do you want to pull up your, I can share your screen really quickly. We can at least give our viewers an idea of where they should go to kind of read a little bit more about this. I see you're sharing your screen. I'm going to pull you up. Okay, so we've got the governor blog here.
Yeah, 100%. So we're trying to put as much information in terms of the governor's blog as possible so that people can come away and find it. We've got all the various different recent announcements. So we've got the MEXC announcement, we've got the CoinStore announcement, we've got information about our keep here, which is the staking position. And importantly, we've got the two most recent ones, the launch on Carbon, where we've obviously got our strategies positioned, and then here where we're talking about the strategy jobs. Now, there's nothing stopping these users that have been airdropped these strategies withdrawing the governor tokens and the USDT that was airdropped as part of that strategy. There's nothing stopping them doing that. What we're hoping is that we get enough people that say, huh, actually, I really like the tokenomics of this. I really like what we're doing. And also it's obviously utilizing something and a framework and a tool that I understand. And we hopefully convert those users not only into airdrop holders, but also kind of potential traders in terms of other different types of activity that they want to kind of go off and do on governor as it grows into this industry. And so, you know, this sets out what we've done in terms of the strategy, in terms of the governor, in terms of the USDC. We created a number of actively recurring strategies. So they are spread over a specific type of range. All these ranges slightly different, slightly offsetting, so that we've got some movement already within the liquidity position. And, you know, they are positioned in a way that, you know, they're highlighted here, designed to activate Carbon's asymmetric liquidity backbone, which means that they are positioned so that you don't get your slippage, you don't get any of the retracement positions that you've got, et cetera, going through. And we've got the ability to do all the different things that you can do within the strategy positions as it currently stands. And what we're hoping is that, obviously, with this next phase, as we kind of get into talking about that, then we can convert a good number of these users into engaging in this this next trading competition.
Let's get to Ben. This is going to be found on governor.xyz, right?
Yeah, correct. I mean, it's blog.governor.xyz.
Okay.
Have a look at that. Understand what that means. You can then go and read all about not only the protocol, but also the products that we've got, and our latest product that we're building, which is called Diamond Hands. And Diamond Hands is cross-chain, multi-collateral loan position. So think Maker, but using Bitcoin. think Maker, but using XRP. Think Maker, but using ETH. You're not going to be limited by the token per se in terms of using that collateral inside your loan position. So it really brings everything that we fundamentally believe about Governor, about existing in a multi-chain world, and utilizing it to unlock value in a way, and this is really important, that avoids as near as possible any tax event on the type of activity that you are normally running when you're doing cross-chain activity. So yeah,
taxes are never fun to talk about, but they are less fun to have to actually deal with, right?
I think it's also really hard actually talking about them, because very few people actually like to talk about them, because it's an incredibly difficult topic. And we'll add, this is not tax advice, this is not financial advice.
Right.
Everybody needs to go and do their own research. We've done our research. We're building what we think is the best and the most sensible thing in this space, given the frameworks that we've got available to us at this moment in time. And we will keep building in that kind of direction. The objective is never sell your crypto, minimize your taxes, be really sensible in terms of what you're doing. And also be permissionless. It's so important. It's so important. We've really lost those mantras from those early days over the last couple of years, and we need to get them back. So, not your keys, not your crypto, needs to be top of everybody's mind. We've seen Celsius, we've seen FTX, we've seen other kind of failures.
I know that is something huge that you guys have really kind of held at the core of Governor. We've spoken about this a few times, and I admire how close to that original sort of ethos you are, as possible as where you're at, right? So the decentralization, all of it, I admire that.
And that's why we're so close to the Bancor Carbon team, because we literally cannot do Governor in a cross-chain world without a decentralized exchange that enables us to transact value back from all sorts of other different chains rather. So the ARB fast lane is going to be fundamental in terms of our strategy, in terms of extracting value from all these other different chains.
Huge. You know what that reminds me? We never really even got to talk about the furnace. There's so many things that we could actually talk about right now. But before we get super distracted, because I will, let's talk about the trading competition, because I know in the beginning you were saying that Carbon DeFi is sophisticated and it's complicated and all of these things. And I want users to see it is super sophisticated. On the back end, I would say more so, right? I think if anything, it just really is so different, because it is for the first time giving users the opportunity to go in and say, I don't just want to swap. I don't just want to take the price that this is willing to give me. I have a specific price in mind. I have a specific strategy of my own, right? And now I actually have the ability to follow through on these things and perform these sorts of actions. And so it's a little bit different. And the design model, I will say, and the mechanics of it may be complicated and sophisticated. But I want, Glenn, I see you're sharing your screen.
Yes.
Are you able to walk through a little bit of Carbon DeFi with us? Because I want our viewers to see how easily they can go in and buy and sell Governor and use Carbon DeFi and participate in the trading strategy. I mean, I'm sorry, the trading competition. Yeah?
Yeah, I got my screen here up and running. One of the things that I'm going to show you real quick is you can actually go to the Explore tab here on Carbon DeFi for the Governor USDT trading pair. And then you can see all of the other strategies that were airdropped. So they're all here. And
awesome.
Yeah, there's 250. Well, in this specific trading pair, there's 253, right? But 250 of these were airdropped. And then some of these I've already traded at least once, right? One of the things that Ben mentioned, right? These are essentially strategy that's composed of 2 limit orders, where one is for buying, one is for selling. And if you actually put all of these strategies together, right, it essentially mimics a concentrated liquidity position, right? So this is like the cool thing about how this was like set up, right? So these 250 positions, they're not all at the same price, right? There's a slight offset from one order to the next, right? But if you look at these holistically, they approximate a concentrated liquidity position. So all these strategies will trade at different points in time, depending on the price fluctuation of the governor token. Now, one of the things that we're looking to do as well is a trading competition, right? And this trading competition is essentially gonna be highlighting governor the token against other base assets, right? So governor USDT is gonna be one of these trading pairs that we care about, but there's also 3 others: USDC, ETH, and then BNT, right? So these 4 trading pairs are essentially the ones that are going to be qualifying for the trading competition, right? And as a trader, what you can do is you can create a strategy around these trading pairs, and your goal is to generate as much volume as possible. So I'm going to be walking you through a few different scenarios, things that you can do on Carbon DeFi in terms of utilizing the protocol, right, to actually increase your chances of generating as much volume, and then obviously being ranked potentially in the top 3, which would mean that you would get a reward, right? And Ben, maybe you can talk about what the reward is. I believe it's 3,333 governor tokens, which are going to be sort of distributed across the top 3 strategies in this case, right? And then you guys are doing something unique with these rewards as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, so it's going to be pretty weighted towards the winners. I think it's 2,000, 1,000, and 333. You know, being a maths geek, just like prime numbers. So,
by the way, why 3,333? Is there a meaning behind this number?
Not really. I mean, the other thing that I was kind of toying with is doing kind of pi to so many decimal places, and then but you know, there were just numbers that just are nice. They're just real, right? So, you know, I'm sure the maths geeks that are watching will know what I'm talking about in terms of that's a really nice number, and here we go. So yeah, the people that are engaged, like I said, that in this top 250 list, they're really special people. We'll be honored to have them as governors in the governor community. I'm sure that they are people that are going to be engaged in other different types of positioning as well. And we're just looking to kind of say thank you for being you, and as you are you and you're trading on Bancor, then please engage in our trading competition. And you know what we need as a project is we need more advocates, more kind of OGs in the space, less bots, less kind of scammy type of activity, that really from people that really understand this space and understand just how important it is that we build something that is truly permissionless, and why that ethos is so important. So yeah, there's no real kind of driver behind that number. But I would urge everybody to have a look at the strategy that they've been given. They've been given from our perspective at that particular point in time to look at that concentrated position. But obviously, the more active they are in terms of positioning that strategy, amending that strategy, creating different strategies, etc., and the trading position will look at different pairs as well across that range. It will all help in terms of trying to demonstrate that the governor is a real project. It's fundamentally trying to get back to that kind of original crypto vision, that OG 2017, 2018 vibe, and do something that's really special.
Absolutely. So I can start. I'll go into some of the specifics about the trading competition. So we already know that it's going to be for trading pairs, right? ETH, USDT, USDC, and then BNT. So governor against any of these 4 tokens will qualify for the trading competition, right? The other thing that you have to keep in mind is that you need to have a minimum of governor tokens in that strategy when the competition starts. And that amount is about $100 at that current market price. So I believe we're going to be running the trading competition from the 4th, August 4th to the 18th. So this is roughly 2 weeks. We're going to have an announcement blog post with these details, right? The exact time where it starts, the exact time when it ends, right? And essentially, when the competition starts, if you have $100 worth of governor tokens in a trading strategy, then this strategy is going to qualify for that trading competition, assuming that it's in that in those 4 trading pairs, which I mentioned at the beginning, right? So this competition, it's going to be measuring volume. So we care about strategies that generate the most volume. And of course, if you have multiple strategies under the same qualifying trading pairs, they will all count towards your ranking, right? We're also going to be putting out a Dune dashboard, which is going to have sort of like it's going to be a leaderboard, right? And then you'll be able to check how your strategy is doing live, essentially, and then you'll see your ranking as well. So those are essentially the main details. And like I said, we're going to have a blog post about this, or multiple blog posts about this, and then also this call will serve as a reference point as well. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you a concentrated liquidity position on Carbon DeFi, which is one of the strategies you might decide to actually create in order to generate as much volume as possible, right? So
Glenn,
here, yes,
zoom in. Can you zoom in on your screen for me?
Yeah, let me know if that's better.
Yeah, can you hit it maybe once more?
Once more? Is that better?
That's good. That's good. Yeah, we might have to scroll down a little bit on the right, but I think that's much clearer for our viewers. Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
That's much clearer for our viewers. Okay, great. So here I've already selected Governor USDT, but obviously this can also be Governor USDC, right? Or it can be Governor ETH, and then the last one, it can be Governor BNT, right? You decide which trading pair you actually want to utilize for your strategy. In this wallet, which I'm using as an example, I have some USDT. So I'm going to go ahead and use this trading pair, right? So one of the things that you might want to do in order to generate as much volume is create a concentrated liquidity position, right? Where the range that you're choosing, right, is close to the current market price, right? So right now, current market price, it's like 1.45 as reported by CoinGecko, right? So we might want to do maybe like up 5, down 5, right? So 5% above, 5% below, right? We might decide, okay, we are going to choose this range, right? And then obviously we also have to pick a fee tier, right? In essence, a higher fee or spread might lead to less volume, but obviously you might earn more, right? And then the opposite is true, right? A lower fee or spread might lead to more volume, but you're going to be earning less fees, right? So you have to find sort of like a middle ground where you want to be, essentially, right? And then some tokens, I would say, let me look at what this looks like over the past 1 month, right? They might be more volatile than others, right? So maybe for these type of tokens that are more volatile than others, having a higher fee or spread might be actually, something that you might choose to do, right? Versus tokens that are stable, meaning like if you're trading like a stable coin against another stable coin, for these typically, having a lower fee or spread is something that you might want to choose. And same thing goes for 2 assets that are like each other, right? So you have, for example, a lot of like ETH, and then there's a bunch of other like ETH wrappers. If you're trading them against each other, this might make sense. And here, what I'm going to do is, in order to try to maximize my volume as much as I can, I'm going to go with 0.1% fee, right? In this range, which is up 5 and below 5, the current market price, right? And then obviously I get to decide how much tokens I'm going to contribute, right? So you will need, like I said, $100 worth of governor tokens in that strategy when the competition starts. in order to actually have that strategy qualify and count towards volume. So this is something that you have to keep in mind. I have 69.77 tokens here. I'm going to allocate a portion of these because I still have other strategies that I want to show you guys. So I'm going to do 30, which is about $43, right? And then it's going to tell me that based on this range that I chose here, right, that I'm going to also need to contribute some USDT. So in this case, it's going to be roughly 45.75, right? I can approve this here and then create. Then once I do that, first things I'm going to do, I'm going to approve both of these tokens. And then afterwards, the creation should go through. Let me just go ahead and do that real quick. On my side, open up what is at 3. Okay, it's pretty good. Confirm here. And that's one approval. And then I have the USDT approval next, which I have to do. And after this approval, I can go ahead and create the strategy from our side. So I can do that as well. Great. It's another approval. And then let's see if these are going to go ahead and actually transactions are going to go through. Hopefully Ethereum, these are still approving.
Ethereum doesn't let itself look bad. Don't do it, Ethereum. We're live. You just had your birthday.
Yeah, I think I chose some decent gas prices too. So let me see.
I think it's today. I think it's 10 years today.
10 years today.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. There was the whole, happy 10th, believe in something campaign yesterday. But yeah, I think it was today. You're right. I also forget I'm on the other side of the world. So half the time I'm doing something, it's my Monday, it's everyone else's Tuesday, or their Tuesday, my Wednesday, or my Wednesday, their Thursday, something like that, So I always forget.
I don't think we'll be celebrating the DAO hack in quite the same kind of euphoric kind of position.
I think we'll kind of let that one just slide.
Yeah. Without the DAO hack, it wouldn't be ETH, right? So
yes, it is true.
It feels weird. So
all right. Well, Gus is taking a minute here.
This is pending. I've sped things up, so we'll see if that goes through.
Cool.
What I can do is I can also come back to this strategy once.
Well, and Glenn, now we know. You know what I mean? We know how to create a concentrated liquidity strategy, right?
Okay, this one succeeded. Great. And now let's see if my other approval now goes through. Great. They both were approved. Now I can actually create. So both tokens approval, they went through. Now you can see here, pre-approve already. I can go ahead and create the strategy. And what I'll do here is I'm just going to bump this up to 4. Save. Great. Confirm here. And then have this strategy be created. And then we can look at it on our portfolio. Great. So now let's see. Looks like that one went ahead.
And we have about 10-15 minutes, so maybe we can go to recurring first. Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, let me go ahead and go to the next one real quick. So this one,
and then we can
pretty much
do a portfolio and see how to edit, maybe.
Yeah, so this one pretty much, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be approved and it's gonna go through. And then, well, the approval went through. It's gonna be created. It's just gonna be a few seconds. But while we're doing that, the other one that we can look at for generating volume, it's, as Jen was saying, we can do a recurring buy low, sell high, right? And a buy low, sell high strategy, it's essentially a set of orders that are linked together, right? And these orders, they can be 2 limit orders, 2 range orders, or a combination of these things like limit and range, right? And you're looking to do something similar if you want to generate volume for a recurring strategy, in the sense that these orders, right, you should place them close to the current market price, right? So right now it's about 145, right? So we go 146, which is probably a penny above. and 144, a penny below, right? So this means that if the price of GVNR is fluctuating, right, between these price points, then these orders would be filling each other back and forth over this period of time where this strategy is live, right? So for example, I can contribute 20 governor tokens to this sell high order, and then I can also contribute maybe 20 USDT tokens, right? So these are example quantities, but keep in mind that in order to qualify for the trading competition, you will need about $100 worth of governor tokens to have in that strategy, right? You need to fund that strategy with this minimum amount, and then obviously at that point in time, it will be qualified into the competition, right? So this is the other strategy that you can do. You can also do range, right? And range, it's essentially you're distributing the tokens over a price range, right? But keep in mind that because you're distributing these tokens over a price range, right? If the price of governor, right, does not go all the way above our range, then this means that we're only gonna be filling a portion of the range order, right? So we're not gonna generate as much volume because those tokens are distributed over a range. Now, if you selected a limit order, right, you're generating more volume because you're concentrating all of that liquidity into specific price, right? And then obviously, if the external market price goes into that limit order, then that limit order gets filled, right? So I'm going to go ahead and create this one at these prices. I think these are good. Just as an example, create here. We don't have to do the approval anymore because I already approved both these tokens. All I'm going to do is just modify the gas price here just so that I have this go through a little bit quicker.
Glenn, while you do that, if I can ask you a question, both of you guys,
yes,
actually.
Go for it.
With the recurring strategy, and I know that you don't have to, but I want to kind of touch on this. The strategy drops included both governor and USDT in this sort of recurring strategy. So it had both sides funded. And Glenn, in your example just now, we did a recurring strategy with both sides funded. But this isn't necessarily a requirement in order to create a strategy or to be eligible for the trading competition. Am I correct in my understanding of that? That if they have $100 worth of governor for the trading competition, they don't necessarily have to provide the USDT or the USDC or the ETH or the BNT. But the way that the volume is counted, it might be a little bit different, right?
Yeah, so you can always fund one side or both sides of that trading strategy. Keep in mind, and we'll have more details about this in the blog. As your strategy is trading back and forth, right, we're only going to count volume that's generated in a single direction. And that volume is from one of these four tokens, USDC, USDT, BNT, or ETH, to governor, right? So volume that's trading in that direction. So for example, if you have two limit orders, buy low, sell high, right? If your buy order is buying governor at a low price, that volume gets counted. And then later on, let's say the sell high volume gets triggered or the sell high order gets triggered and you generate volume from governor to another token, that volume will not get counted, right? So this is why it might be useful to actually either double fund these strategies, right? So that you have your minimum amount of governor so that you actually qualify. That strategy qualifies into the trading competition, and then you actually also fund the other side so you can actually generate volume from the get-go, right? Assuming that limit order gets hit.
Makes so much sense. Thanks for clarifying.
And yeah, you can see here, but both of my strategies have now been created, right? They're both active. They show up in my strategies portfolio here. Right, and you can see this is a concentrated liquidity position, right? Roughly between like 137 all the way to 152, right? With a 0.1% fee/spread, right? And this is the concentrated liquidity position. And over here, I have a buy low, sell high strategy composed of 2 limit orders, right? And also this is funded with 20 USDT and 20 governor, right? Which is about $30 now. So if I wanted these strategies to qualify, right, for the trading competition, I would have funded this one with a little bit more governor, maybe 70 to 80 governor, at which point I would have about $100. And then same thing here, right? I would have funded that with a little bit more governor. And then I would have been okay, right? Both these strategies would have been good for the trading competition. Obviously, didn't have that much governor tokens in my wallet, but you get the idea. You need $100 minimum in governor at the time of the trading competition start date in order to actually have that strategy qualify for that competition.
Awesome. Now for the existing, like the strategy drops and stuff, this is where they would also go in and edit their strategies if they wanted to, right? They're going to want to add more to qualify for the competition. So yeah, from that portfolio page, that's where they can see the strategy drop.
Yeah, there's 250 here. If you actually got one of these strategies, it would show up in your portfolio. What you would do here is go to the gear icon, and then you can potentially deposit more funds, right? And then you'll get to this page where I'm at right now. Like right now, I have 19 governor tokens in my wallet. I can go ahead and hit max, right? And then it's going to tell me, okay, this is roughly $28 worth, right? I would just need to top up that strategy with some additional governor tokens in order to actually meet the minimum threshold, right? So you can do that as well, like you're saying, right? And then you might decide that, hey, you know what? Maybe this like strategy that I got from governor is great, right? But I think I want to actually modify the prices on it, right? I might want to put this closer to the market price after I like top up the funding. You can also do that, right? You can edit prices and then, modify that strategy, or go to like a concentrated liquidity position too, right? And vice versa. So you can do either of these things in terms of like modifying that strategy that was airdropped to you, add more funding, or modify the prices. Up to you to decide. But like I said, we will have a Dune dashboard where you can track the performance of your strategy over time, and then it'll show you your ranking against others, how much volume you have generated.
Awesome. So we're going to have blogs that'll be out and kind of like an actual guide to the competition with some different examples and things. We'll have all of the eligibility requirements. We'll have the trading pairs that will qualify in the trading competition, and we'll have the Dune dashboard, so that they can see their rankings, their current, like an actual leaderboard, the volume that they are generating. And I think all of this will be live. You said, when did the trading competition start? Can you guys remind me? Was it August 4th, did you say?
Yeah, 4th to the 18th. So it's going to be roughly 2 weeks long. And then top three are going to get governor tokens, right? There's some breakdown there. It's going to be in the details. But first, second, and third place, I believe we might also have some random swag packs as well for people to participate. So keep even if you do not win, there's a possibility that you will win other stuff too. So it's great.
I am having a great time designing the Bancor mascot as like this dapper sort of governor. He's like got his pinstripe suit. He's fantastic. The swag is going to be really cool. I'm excited for it. It's definitely like the Bancor governor collab swag for the trading competition. So yeah, he looks good when he's all dapper, that Moai. Right?
I've seen that design, and it's one of my favorites. So personally, I'm going to be participating under this wallet. So keep my strategies.
Okay, so is there anything else that you guys want to add, whether it's about the strategy drop, about the trading competition? I know if we missed anything today, we are going to have, the blogs, the guides and things that are going to be coming out shortly. So all the details will be there. But before we kind of sign off, is there anything that you might want to add?
I mean, the only thing on my side is just a big thank you to the kind of the Bancor team and the Bancor community for kind of engaging in this. It's always, the biggest thing that everybody's got is pause and distractions on their time. So, I'm just very grateful that people have been engaged, have been watching this video and kind of keen to learn more about governor. So, it's a real privilege to kind of be here, and yeah, we're eternally grateful to everybody that's kind of giving us help on this journey. So it's a big thank you from us.
Well, thank you, Ben. I know the community is really grateful as well and looking forward to it. I've had a couple of them now that the details of the trading competition are like almost officially all out there. I think we're going to start seeing them really interacting with their positions, because it was kind of like, I read your blog, Jen. There's a trading competition coming up. Can you give me any details? What's going to happen? And this is kind of what they've been waiting for, to really start interacting with their strategies. So I think we'll see a lot more of this after this call and after these publications as well. Glenn, any final thoughts from you?
Nothing else from my side. Our channels are live. We're on Telegram. We're on Discord. Right? You guys have questions around the trading competition, feel free to come in there. I'm active. I know, Jen, you're there. We have other community members too that are sort of always helping out people there. And then, like I said, look out for the blog posts that are going to be coming out. And then we'll put out the Dune dashboard as well, so that you guys can track this trading competition while it's ongoing.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in. Congratulations to the 250 power users who were part of this strategy drop. Any questions? Like Glenn said, reach out to any of us. Ben, I know that you guys have an unofficial, is it an unofficial sort of trading or Telegram group? Where are, other than the blog and the website, where are viewers going to find out everything they can about Governor? Where should they be going?
Yeah, I mean, so there's obviously the official Telegram group. We can talk about various different things there. One thing that we don't talk about in that group is price. The community's spun up its own group, which I've joined and kind of watch and pop the odd kind of comment in, but again, nobody talks about price in this space. It's really difficult. There's no guarantees that anything is going to work. They're all massive experiments, but it's something that people like to do. They like to talk about price, and they like to talk about various different things. So go there. That's the unofficial trading group. It's full of like-minded kind of individuals that can talk to you left, right, and center about all sorts of different trading strategies. We've got some really sophisticated players in there that are doing some really nice analysis, not only on Governor, but also on the wider kind of macro space. And that's, again, it's just an indicator in terms of the way that this space kind of attracts the brightest people. And we are so excited to be able to kind of engage in trading competition with Bancor, because those top 250 power users are really bright individuals. So, grateful that you're coming on the Governor journey.
Well, amazing. I love seeing it all come together. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Ben, always a pleasure. Glenn, thank you so much for giving us this walkthrough and showing the viewers how to create these strategies. You might have almost put a target on your back, though. I wonder if you're going to be the guy to beat now in this trading competition.
Absolutely. Well, you have my wallet there, so be on the lookout there.
Amazing. Thank you guys again, and congratulations to everybody who received the strategy drop, and to all of our viewers. Everybody, just reach out with any questions. We're all here and available and wanting to help you kind of get to where you want to be in your own journey with Carbon, DeFi, and Governor. So we'll talk to you all soon, and we'll get all the details out shortly.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. We'll talk soon.
Take care.